anybody would want to hear what we have to offer. Anyway, so we'll find out.
You would think so. You would think so.
You would think. You would think. We've got the smartest listeners on the planet. So
tell me, Nick, what is the population of Pickle Lake, Ontario?
It's about 400.
And about to become 402.
That's right. Now, one of the biggest challenges, I got to be honest with you, one of the biggest challenges we have is I've got a dog called Willie. And I love him to death. He's a great dog. And he's one of these dogs that I'll be driving a tractor up the field towards the sawmill. And he's running along beside the tractor. And I'll just look at him and go, "Get it, Willie, get it, get it, get it." And his tail will snap up and his head comes up and he tears off into the bush. Now, the problem is he has no idea what he's chasing. Like, I just told him to get it, so he's going to get it. He doesn't even know what it is. So when he hears something, he starts barking. Even if it's me getting out of the car. I don't know. I think he barks sometimes to hear the echo in his own head. And on top of that, we have another dog, a very delicate creature called Finley. She's part Italian Greyhound and part Husky. So this dog is a little furrier than an Italian Greyhound, but can that thing ever run? But she's very, very, how do I put it? She's not, timid's not the right word, but just, she can seem to be aloof. She does not like the sound of gunfire or loud bangs or anything like that. But you'll find her sometimes sitting in the kitchen with her two paws crossed with a very regal look on her face. And Willie and her interact like an old married couple. So I haven't got it in my heart to break that couple up. And that's been the hardest thing for me. I'm other than leaving family and relationship point of view, leaving Willie behind is going to be difficult because as big a goof as he is, he's my goof. And I love the goof. So it's going to be something I'll have to make an adjustment to. It'll be the first time in over 20 years when we will have absolutely no animals. None. We've sold off most of the horses. There's a couple still on the farm, but most of them are gone. The sheep are going to go. The goat's going to go. Those I can live with. But Willie and Finley, man, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. You know what? They do have a great little restaurant in town.
I'm not going up in the wintertime, though.
Oh, Nick. Come on. Come on, where's your sense of adventure? It's only minus 24 on an average day with 9 feet of snow.
Yeah, I'm not... my problem, I'm not afraid of the snow, and I'm not afraid of the winter, of the cold. Minus 24 is nothing. But, you don't want to get stuck on that highway in between gas stations in the middle of winter.
No, there's 3 gas stations on 599, on the 599. As long as you fill up and put gas in, it's against the law. No, I may be confusing that with BC. I thought it was against the law to pass somebody who's broken down the shoulder of the road. But I know that's the case in BC. I'm not sure about this. But all you got to do is call me. I will come and get you.
Okay. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it.
And it's only 24 hours.
If you are looking for a vacation spot, Pickle Lake, Ontario, you heard it here.
Bring your fishing rod. Oh, my God, bring your fishing rod.
And your insect repellent, probably.
Yeah, you might need a little bit of that or a great big body tent.
Oh, dear, oh, dear. All right, listen.
They actually have a black fly festival in the summertime.
And we're not talking about fly fishing.
I'll be doing some of that too.
Okay.
I won't be fishing for flies. I'll be fishing with them. Okay.
Enough about Pickle Lake. Okay. Let's spend a few minutes here
for
talking about a case that I came across in the news today of a woman in Mississippi, a teacher in Mississippi, by the name of Molly.
Oh,
Ray.
yeah.
Molly Ray, W-R-A-Y, was accused of seducing a boy at Lafayette High School into meeting for sex in November of 2017. She was arrested the following June, and she was charged with a crime that normally would carry a prison sentence between 2 and 10 years and or a fine of as much as $10,000. And that's according to Mississippi state law. But she's gotten off. She hasn't gotten off. No, I just said she got off. That's a mistake. She hasn't gotten off. Her sentence was that she has to serve 5 years of good behavior. That's it. That's her sentence. 5 years.
Good behavior where?
Good behavior. Pardon me?
Good behavior where? Where?
In Mississippi. Wherever she is.
In prison? At home?
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
So she could be...
She's not going to jail. She's not doing house arrest. She's not paying a fine. She's not doing community service. Basically, she's been told, bad girl, and what you did was a bad thing. It was a crime, and you better not do it again. Now, my question is this: without getting into whether that's an appropriate punishment, an appropriate penalty for what she did, basically having sex with a minor, it's sexual abuse. So the question, though, is not, is this an appropriate punishment? The question is, that I have for you, Dick, and for our listeners out there, is, would a male who had taken advantage of a teenage student have gotten off as lightly? In other words, is there a discrepancy here, a difference, a double standard when it comes to how male sexual predators are treated and female sexual predators are treated?
The answer to that, of course, there is. It's clear, not only by this case, but by other ones, that for some reason, and I think a lot of it's this sense, and I don't mean to be crude, but the lucky kid, in this case, like this with his teacher. Oh, great. Everybody is a little envious. And it's the same, let's call it the Bill Clinton syndrome, where we all know what his situation was with Monica Lewinsky, and everybody kind of went wink, wink, nudge, nudge, lucky Bill, wish it was me. And I think there's some of that playing out in this particular scenario. Now, I don't know the prosecutor or the defense lawyer or anything like that. I don't know anything more about the story than what you just told me. But that, I think, is prevalent, because when you flip it over and you make it a man with a girl, they all go, oh, you horrible beast. And they think, what if she gets pregnant? And what if he raped her and he did all this stuff? Even if she consented, that doesn't seem to play into it. There is very clearly a double standard. And we see it all over the place. Look at the whole Me Too movement, starting out with Feinstein. Now, from what I know, Mr. Feinstein had it coming. And I'm not excusing that kind of behavior. I'm just saying that...
Weinstein.
I did say Weinstein. Yes, you're right. The point is that whether or not he had it coming, how many executives were trembling in fear behind their office doors, hoping nobody even suggested that they'd done it, even if they were completely innocent? Okay? The double standard was so powerful that it ruined people's lives. It destroyed careers. And nobody seemed to care, because it was guys we were talking about, not women. If women, well, they must have been victimized somehow, or we have to look the other way because it's a girl. And yet, in the eyes of the law, none of that should matter. That's why Lady Justice is blindfolded, so that she doesn't take any of that into account. It's just the facts. Do the facts indicate that you committed a crime? And it doesn't matter your station in life, your gender, what you have in the bank account. None of that should matter. And if you're guilty, you have to be punished just like anybody else. And I think there's all kinds. You want to see the real sad cases of this kind of thing. Go to family court sometime and watch how men are treated in divorce court. I mean, the table is tilted like 90 degrees in favor of the woman. That's not to say that every guy who walks in there is pure as the wind-driven snow, But it's also the same thing about women. That women can be just as evil and just as nasty, maybe even more so in certain cases, than men can. And when you start turning a blind eye to this kind of behavior, or when you make it a habit like we see in society today, all you're doing is reinforcing a reverse stereotype. And I don't think that's healthy.
Well, one of the interesting things, actually, as I'm reading this story here, is that apparently this teacher, first of all, she was married while she was
that makes it better
with this student, and she was bragging about it to her friends as well, and saying that she really needed the attention because she wasn't getting the attention from her husband. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if you're going to hook up with a 16-year-old kid, and maybe there's something going on with you that is, in fact, discouraging your husband from paying attention to you in the first place.
Or at least some other of-age adult.
Or some other of-age adult. Good point. So those are two very interesting things as well. But Nick, you're quite right. I mean, the fact is that if this had been a man who had taken advantage of a female student, they would have thrown the book at him. He would have been, lost his job. Now, in fairness, I don't know whether or not she's lost her license to teach, but lost his job, gone to jail, paid a fine, probably put on the sexual offenders list, and would have stalkers following around after he gets out of jail, and a website dedicated to him, and parents protesting in front of his place wherever he's living after he gets out of jail, because they don't want him living in the neighborhood. I mean, this is the kind of thing that we see from time to time with men who are accused of doing this. Now, I want to be fair. I think that, women also find themselves incarcerated because of this kind of behavior. So, this is not an across-the-board thing where we see all women getting off and all men getting punished for similar things. But it does. It is a disturbing trend, and it brings to mind the case of who's the comedian did Fat
Bill
Albert?
Cosby.
Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, who had apparently illicit sex with grown women who came to his hotel room at his invitation alone, who accepted drinks from him, and in some cases actually accepted drugs from him, perhaps not realizing what the drug was. But you have to ask yourself, and here is, Bill Cosby, who, is basically denying, but, a legitimate defense, I think, in his case would have been, guess what? You're right. I did do this. I'm guilty, but where's the crime? This is a grown-up woman who I invited to my room. I gave her drinks, and I gave her drugs, which she took willingly. Where's the crime? No, I'm not excusing what he did, allegedly, but I